we've had oil spiking overnight, went up about 3%. In Asian hours, it seems to be calming down as far as Brent is concerned. We're at 77.14, highest we've seen in probably, 4 or 5 months or so. A lot of folks are saying the geopolitical risk premium on oil is just not there. Given that we've got now 3 wars going on at the same time, it should be higher, shouldn't it?
If I'm looking at that price, there is a geopolitical. It's about a $10 premium in the price right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we were meeting 10 days ago, before all of this started, we'd say that the range for oil would be like 55 to 70. It had moved down from where it had been. So I think that's a risk premium. There's been no disruption, but the threat of disruption is there.
Yeah.
But I think what you are saying is that you would expect with all this going on, it could be even higher. But I think it's responding to the fact that the market is still well supplied.
Yeah, the risk in terms of supply risk, right? Would it be fair to say that's not so much Iran, because the stuff they pump out and ship out to the rest of the world is only about 1.5% of global, right?
That's right.
It's the stuff that their neighbors produce and need to ship out through the Strait of Hormuz. That is the bigger risk.
Yeah, it's about 20% of world oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz, and a significant part of the LNG that Asia depends upon also goes through that. So those are, that's the threat to supply, and that's been hanging over there. That threat, it's well known. The U.S. Navy has been there, and its job is really number one job is to be prepared if there is a disruption. And it is possible that the Iranians could mine it, or some faction of the Iranians in a sort of plausible deniability does that. So that is what's hanging. That's the question. That's why we're seeing a risk premium in the price.
Indeed. And, we've also had reports that, the Iranians are stopping and searching tankers right now to try and sort of exercise some sort of control over movement and flow. So that's a little bit worrying.
Well,
but
I think, the whole industry in the region is on alert, and people are in a sense, at battle stations to manage it. We had our conference in just now, Energy Asia in Kuala Lumpur, and very well attended, including a number of people from the Arab side of the Gulf. But some of the key senior people at the last minute did not come because they had to stay in their station, just because we are in a very uncertain situation.
Yeah. I mean, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, that's been threatened, I don't know how many times now, I've lost track. It's never happened, right? And this time around, given the fact that 97% of the oil they put out there, Iran that is, gets bought by China at heavily discounted prices and go around sanctions. Right. Of course, we know that, right? It wouldn't be in their interest to do that to themselves, right? Because they'd be shooting themselves in the foot. It's that foreign exchange that keeps the regime propped up, isn't it?
It's not only that, but of course, it is Asia that is, in terms of physical barrels, is more vulnerable than any other region to a disruption. That supply really doesn't flow west anymore. So it's China and then it's India. So China does not want to see the Strait of Hormuz closed from its point of view. Yeah. So that has to be part of the Iranian calculation as well. One thing we don't know is how, given everything happening in Iran, how well coordinated they are in terms of their decision making.